There is a strange feeling that many adults experience, a kind of tiredness that appears without a clear reason. It is not the kind of exhaustion that comes after an overwhelming day, and it is not caused by a heavy event or a visible crisis. It is a quiet tiredness that shows up regularly, repeats itself, and becomes so familiar that people eventually stop asking where it comes from. Every day still begins the same way: waking up on time, going to work, getting things done, answering familiar questions, agreeing to responsibilities that have been part of the routine for a long time. Nothing dramatic happens. There is no obvious pressure, no moment big enough to be called burnout. And yet, by the end of the day, the tiredness is still there, quietly waiting. This tiredness does not arrive suddenly, and it does not force people to stop. It simply stays long enough to become part of the rhythm of life. People continue working, continue living, continue responding when needed. But when everything is finished, when no one expects anything more from them, the body feels a little heavier, the mind slows down slightly, and that familiar sense of tiredness appears again, even though no one can say exactly when it began. Some days pass so evenly that, if asked later, people can hardly remember what they did during those hours. Everything moved in order, nothing went wrong, nothing stood out enough to complain about. Work was not necessarily harder than before. Sometimes it was even lighter, calmer, with fewer conflicts. And still, the tiredness remained, unchanged, steady, like a background condition that never fully goes away. Many people have tried to explain it. They assume they must be tired because they work too much, but when they look closely, their workload has not increased. Some even have more free time than before. Others think it might be a lack of sleep or poor habits, but even after adjusting those things, the tiredness does not disappear. It does not behave like a problem that can be fixed. It feels more like something that has quietly blended into daily life without being noticed. This kind of tiredness rarely follows an intense day. It often shows up on ordinary days, days without highlights. People still fulfill their roles, still meet expectations, but when there is a moment of stillness, when there is no need to react to the world anymore, the tiredness becomes more noticeable, as if it has been waiting for silence to speak. Over time, people get used to always feeling tired, so used to it that they stop mentioning it. Tiredness becomes part of everyday life, like dim light in a room at night, not bright enough to feel comfortable, not dark enough to demand attention. Life goes on. Work continues, but energy is no longer full, and excitement for small things slowly fades. Some evenings, people sit quietly, not opening another task, not starting another conversation, simply because they no longer have the energy to explain how they feel. It is not sadness, and it is not boredom. It is more like the mind is already full, too full to take in anything else. Conversations that once felt easy now require effort, and silence becomes the easier choice. When tiredness lasts too long, it begins to shape how people respond to life. They speak less, not because they have nothing to say, but because conversation costs energy. They choose silence more quickly, not because they agree, but because explaining feels more exhausting than accepting. Everything still functions, but inside, emotional life becomes thinner. There's no dramatic collapse. Work gets done. Relationships continue. Life moves forward as usual, but small joys no longer stay for long. Evenings pass faster. Weekends do not fully restore what was lost. People rest, but even after resting, they are still tired, as if the body has stopped, but the mind keeps running on an unnamed rhythm. Sometimes people wonder whether this tiredness means they are doing something wrong. But that question is often set aside because life does not allow much time to stop and search for answers. A new day begins. Another list of tasks appears. The familiar cycle continues, and the tiredness quietly stays. Perhaps this tiredness does not come from doing too much, but from having to keep everything running smoothly, from carrying multiple roles at once, from meeting expectations, whether they come from others or from within. No one is forcing it. No one is giving orders. But people carry it anyway because they have been doing so for a long time. And so the tiredness remains, not loud, not dramatic, simply following people through day after day. It does not stop them, but it does not allow them to move forward lightly either. It becomes part of adult life, so familiar that many no longer realize how long they have been tired. On quiet evenings, when the room is still and everything around has settled, people sit alone, doing nothing more than noticing the tiredness that stays. There's no need to name it, no need to push it away, just the awareness that it has been here for a long time and perhaps it will stay a little longer.